I'll read your question, okay?
Я прочитаю твой вопрос.
Cesar, for the last months, I have not been able to overcome sleeping during meditation. How to overcome? It seems this Maya kosher in any case. How not to fall asleep? Okay.
Цезарь, последний месяц не могу побороть сонливость во время медитации. Как побороть? По-моему, это майя коша. В любом случае, как не засыпать?
Who is going to overcome what?
Кто с чем будет бороться?
Do you have any problems when you are sleeping?
Есть ли у тебя какие-либо проблемы, когда ты спишь?
At night when you are sleeping, do you ask this question, how to overcome?
Ночью, когда ты
Sleep.
спишь, ты задаешь вопросы о том, как побороть сон?
No, right?
Нет, верно?
Can you open your microphone? No, you have to open it.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Нет, не задаю вопрос, когда сплю.
If the mind is quiet, right? Stop making efforts.
Если ум затих, то прекратите прикладывать усилия.
Quiet mind is basically consciousness. One may not be fully aware of this fact.
Тихий ум — это по большому счету сознание, но вы можете и не осознавать даже этот факт.
This is why meditation means effort.
Медитация означает усилие.
Inquiry is not effort.
Исследование — это не усилие.
Inquiry is to see the source of the thoughts of me, the one that is doing effort, me, the one that is meditating.
Исследование — это видеть источник мыслей, видеть источник этого «я», которое прикладывает усилия, которое медитирует.
The thought I am meditating is exhausting.
Эта мысль «я медитирую», она выматывает.
This is why you fall asleep.
Поэтому вы засыпаете.
So just
Ну,
look
у меня...
for the source of the thoughts,
Ищите источник мыслей.
and they disappear.
Они исчезают тогда.
That's it. No need to.
Вот и все.
You are looking at the source already, right?
Вы уже смотрите на источник.
Who is the source of the thoughts?
Кто является источником мыслей?
I am the source of the thoughts,
Я.
right? When you look at this, I am. You are always looking at this, I am.
Вы всегда смотрите на это «я есть».
You are that which sees this, I am.
Вы есть то, что видит это «я есть».
This I am is like the reflection in the mirror.
Вот это «я есть», оно как отражение в зеркале.
And the body is the mirror.
А тело — это зеркало.
You are always looking at this reflection,
Вы всегда смотрите на отражение
at least in the awakened state.
в состоянии бодрствования.
But you are identifying yourself as a reflection.
Но
That's
вы
it.
отождествляетесь с отражением.
When the thought disappears,
Когда мысль исчезает,
it's for consciousness to release the identity with the body, that's all.
вот is for consciousness to release.
The inquiry.
Извините, исследование, но для того, чтобы сознание освободилось от отождествления с телом,
Or you see what the mind is,
вы либо видите, что такое есть ум,
or you see from where the mind arises.
либо вы смотрите, откуда он возникает.
Mind is a conglomeration of thought.
Ум — это куча мыслей.
First thought is I,
Первая мысль — это я,
means I am Vasim. See, I am Maxine, I am the body, right?
означает я — это Максим, я — это тело.
So I appears, you, he, she, it, everything else appears.
Сначала появляется я, затем появляется ты, он, она, оно.
See what this I is all about.
Смотрите, что это за я такое.
And it disappears again.
Оно исчезает снова.
Once it disappears,
Когда оно исчезает,
who is there to make any effort about what?
кто будет какие усилия прикладывать?
This is not to do something.
И это не значит делать что-то.
This is to be what you are,
Это значит быть тем, что вы есть.
to be that which sees.
Быть тем, что видит.
In deep sleep, there is nothing, total darkness,
В глубоком сне ничего нет, есть только темнота.
right?
Да.
So awakened state, all this magnificent display of light and colors appears.
В состоянии бодрствования появляются все вот эти цвета и свет.
Dream state is an extension of the awakened state, basically.
Сновидение — это продолжение состояния бодрствования.
So there are three states, right?
Есть три состояния.
Apparently three. See?
По-видимому, три.
They contradict each other.
Они сменяют друг друга.
They alternate.
Мгм.
Alternates? Or alternate? They alternate. And who sees that?
Кто это видит тогда?
Isn't it you?
Не вы разве?
So you are always that which sees,
Вы всегда являетесь тем, что видит,
but not always aware that you are that which sees.
но вы не всегда осознаете это.
You are also the seen,
Это также видимое,
namely energy,
то есть энергия,
world,
мир,
consciousness,
сознание,
thought, mind.
мысль, ум.
None of that is separate from you
Ничто из этого не отдельно от вас,
or united with you.
не едино с вами.
It is also you.
Оно просто так же является вами.
Then who sees what?
Кто тогда видит и что?
Does it make any sense?
Вы понимаете?
Да, я примерно понимаю, о чем ты говоришь. Ну, то есть, это не страшно, что если есть вот этот вот сон. Я прямо избегать начал, засыпать. Мне прямо страшно стало специально медитировать, ну, садиться тихо, тихим пребывать. То есть я начал прикладывать какие-то усилия дополнительно, чтобы не спать.
So it's not too bad that I fall asleep because I got I'm making now extra effort not to fall asleep when I sit down.
Then you get more sleepy and more tired.
Чем больше вы усилий прикладываете, тем больше вы устаете, тем больше хочется спать.
You don't fall asleep and you don't wake up.
Вы не засыпаете и не просыпаетесь.
It's consciousness that wakes up.
Сознание просыпается.
And it's consciousness that is sleeping.
И это сознание спит.
An awakened state is manifest.
Состояние бодрствования — это проявленное,
And deep sleep is unmanifest.
а в глубоком сне не проявленное.
What is consciousness anyway?
Что такое сознание?
The reflection of the light, see, energy.
Отражение света, энергия
In the brain.
в мозгу.
That light gets projected
Этот свет
in the brain.
проецируется в мозгу
And it reflects itself back, see,
и отражает себя.
to that which sees,
Отражается на то, что видит.
which is a projector also.
То, что видит, это проектор.
So this reflection appears as the knowledge I am.
И проекция, она видится или проявляется как знание «я есть».
The knowledge of being is
Знание
knowledge.
бытия.
It's not a being, it's not a self.
Это не какая-то сущность, не кто-то, это знание.
It's a notional entity.
Это идейная сущность.
Now, this notion is present in the awakened state.
Сейчас это знание в состоянии бодрствования присутствует.
It is present in dream state,
Оно есть в состоянии сновидений.
and it is absent in deep sleep.
В глубоком сне его нет.
You are ever present.
Вы всегда есть.
You are present in the presence and the absence of this being.
Вы присутствуете и в отсутствии... Извините, вы есть в присутствии и в отсутствии вот этого бытия.
This being consciousness.
Бытия сознанием.
Are you following?
Вы понимаете?
Мне тяжело иногда понимать, Цезарь. Я честно говорю, я тяжело понимаю, когда ты говоришь что-то.
Sometimes it's difficult for me to understand.
No. Just listen. That's okay.
Просто слушайте,
Just listen carefully.
внимательно слушайте.
And if you need, you watch the recordings.
Если понадобится, пересмотрите запись.
And what is mind?
Что такое ум?
Is when this notional I gets identified with the body.
Это когда знание «я» отождествляется с телом.
And this mere notion I am, knowledge I am apparently becomes somebody, becomes the thought, I am the body, I am the thing, etc., etc.
Вот это знание «я есть», по-видимому, становится кем-то, становится телом.
Don't expect anything, everybody see.
Ничего не ожидайте.
Nothing is going to happen.
Ничего не произойдет.
You just become aware of the fact that nothing is going to happen,
Осознайте факт того, что ничего не произойдет.
that everything is already happening.
Все уже происходит.
Effortlessly.
Безусильно.
Consciousness of what is happening is present effortlessly.
Осознавание того, что происходит, есть безусильно.
The energy that manifested both is present effortlessly.
Энергия, которая все это создала, есть безусильно.
And that which sees all that is also effortless.
И то, что видит все это, оно тоже безусильно.
Absolute effortless existence.
Абсолютное безусильное существование.
А вот если у меня все равно в диалоге появляется, как сказать, отождествление с образом себя, ну, с образом Максима, я стараюсь переводить внимание на, ну, на видящего. Это правильно? Или, ну, то есть, или это, опять же, усилие какое-то?
When we are talking, the identification with Maxime happens again, and I try to switch my attention to the seer. Is it correct?
Yes.
Да, это правильно.
Спасибо.
If you put attention on the seer, then you are not the seer.
Если вы можете перевести внимание на видящего, то тогда вы — это не видящий.
You are that which sees the
Вы —
seer.
это то, что видит видящего.
You are already that.
Вы уже есть то.
You can make an effort to be what you are.
Вы не можете сделать усилия для того, чтобы стать тем, чем вы уже являетесь.
And you cannot not be what you are.
Вы не можете не быть тем, чем вы являетесь.
Я сейчас боюсь плохую глупость сказать, но вот когда вот ты так сказал, я как будто бы стал телом. Это, по-моему, неправильно. Ну, то есть я вот, может, я что-то неправильно понял?
Когда ты это сказал, я как будто бы стал телом. When you said that, it seemed like I became the body. Have I done something wrong?
Ну, то есть это же неправильно, что-то я понимаю.
You don't become anything.
Вы ничем не становитесь.
You think you do.
Вы просто думаете так.
What you are cannot become anything.
То, что вы есть, ничем не может стать.
That's a thought, right?
Вот эта мысль, то, что вы сказали.
I became the body.
Я стал телом.
Ну, ясно. Но это же ощущение, что я как будто бы появился в эту область меня. То есть я его признал.
There is a sensation
What?
or feeling that I become the body.
This is a thought.
Это мысль.
The body is a sensation. It doesn't matter.
Тело само по себе это ощущение.
You
Это не
cannot
важно.
not be conscious of the body all the time.
Невозможно не осознавать тело постоянно.
The body is not the problem.
Тело это не проблема.
There are no problems.
Проблем нету.
We think there are problems.
Мы думаем, что есть проблемы.
И еще я вот, можно задам маленький вопрос? Задам. Мне кажется, я очень важную вещь заметил, которую раньше я допускал прям ошибку. Это я начал переводить, то есть я наконец-то, наверное, понял, как борьбу брать с умом, я начал переводить внимание, просто безмолвно на видящего. Это правильно?
Еще раз можно, пожалуйста? Какое-то странное эхо, и половины не слышно.
Я впервые понял, как перестать бороться с умом. Я просто стал безмолвно переводить внимание на видящего. Это правильно? Или, то есть...
I have understood, I think, how to stop fighting with the mind. Just silently I started transferring attention to the seer. Is that right?
Exactly.
Да.
Exactly.
Да, это так.
Then thought can come and go as they please.
Мысли могут приходить и уходить.
And then the practical thinking will stay, and the conceptual thinking will be cancelled automatically as it arises.
Практическое мышление останется, а концептуальное будет отбрасываться сразу же, когда оно возникает.
Because now you use your mind to talk to me, right?
Сейчас вы используете свой ум для того, чтобы разговаривать со мной.
You just got an insight.
Это инсайт.
Good.
Это хорошо.
Это открытие века для меня. Такое расслабление. Надо немножко сейчас посмотреть, как это все идет.
I will see how it goes.
To fight with the mind is like to fight with your own shadow.
Бороться с умом — это как с тенью бороться.
Я очень много лет с ним боролся.
You have been fighting with it for so many years.
I know.
Я знаю.
Я очень устал.
I'm very tired.
Then, see, you need two to tango.
Для того, чтобы танго танцевать, нужны двое.
Don't dance with the shadow.
Не танцуйте с тенью.
Let it dance.
Пусть она танцует.
You just watch.
Вы смотрите.
Watching is not tiring.
Смотреть, ну, от этого не устаешь.
It's effortless actually.
Это не требует усилий.
Consciousness is effortless.
Сознание без усилий.
And that which sees is effortless also.
То, что видит, тоже безусильно.
Ну, у меня еще иногда возникает желание побороться, то есть злость, ну, все равно есть, то есть я замечаю, то есть я отпустил борьбу, я перестал, но желание все равно иногда возникает, то есть нужно, видимо, устояться в этом. Слышно, Настя?
I let go of the fight, but desire to fight sometimes is still there.
That's also a thought.
Это тоже мысль.
This is thought fighting with thought.
Мысль борется с мыслью.
Oh, mind is there.
Ой, вот он ум.
I have to fight the mind.
Мне нужно его побороть.
See? I have to control the mind.
Мне нужно контролировать ум.
That's also a thought. See?
Это тоже мысль.
Ну, это такие более тонкие состояния, видимо, которые нужно тоже замечать.
I have to be free from thoughts.
Мне нужно быть свободным от мыслей.
That's also a thought.
Это тоже мысль.
See, to be thoughtless is to realize that there is no mind that you can possibly free yourself from.
Быть без мыслей значит осознать, что нет никакого ума, от которого можно было бы освободиться.
Ну, то есть, это мысль, я понял, это мысль.
I understand it's a thought.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Хорошо.
Мне надо попробовать сейчас все это. Я обнаружил это несколько недель назад. Мне кажется, я какое-то, понимание каких-то таких вещей обнаружил. Мне нужно побольше в этом побыть, чтобы устояться. Я думаю, что еще вопросы будут, но важные моменты заметил.
I've noticed it a week ago, but I still need to stay more with this understanding
Good,
for
good,
it to
good,
grow.
good, good, good. See, the thought process will never come to an end.
Мыслительный процесс никогда не завершится.
What comes to an end is the belief. See, our thought process is free from beliefs, from concepts, from ideas.
Но мыслительный процесс становится свободным от концепций и идей.
It becomes just a practical tool. It is a
Становится
practical tool.
практическим инструментом.
The mind is no longer a self. It was never a self.
Ум — это больше не какое-то «я». Он никогда не был никаким «я».
The mind gives the impression that there is a person there.
Ум создает впечатление, что есть какая-то личность.
Or an individual, a person, or an individual soul and all that.
Индивидуальная личность или душа.
Спасибо.
Yeah.
У меня вопросов нет. Когда будут, я приду.
I don't have any more questions, but if they arise, I will come and ask.
Of course. Welcome.
Конечно.
So, Claudia, don't worry, be happy or unhappy, it doesn't matter. Life can be pleasant or unpleasant. Life can help it. These memories will be there, they don't disappear. This is just the identity with it disappears. Actually, we don't identify anything, see, using that memory, that imprint. Because of the presence of the apparent ego sense, all this, see, whatever you perceive through the senses, just happens, right? And whatever you perceive may be pleasant or unpleasant, right? And all that leaves an imprint, with or without ego. The ego creates a thought out of it. And then what is pleasant, the ego call it good. What is unpleasant, the ego call it bad. And there is a tendency to react again to what is pleasant or unpleasant, thinking it is good, it is bad, it is good, it is bad, it is right, it is wrong, it is this, it is that. And this tendency creates the desire, see, to make sure that only what is pleasant is happening, or what is not pleasant is not happening, doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah. So first the imprint, then the tendencies, and then the desires. They are basically the same movement. And then I'm perceiving through the senses, right? And the memory comes. Good, bad, right, wrong, this, that, how things are supposed to be. And for that, I should have a point of reference. And that point of reference forcibly has to be the past, memory. To compare, see, that memory with what is simply happening is perceived through the senses. There is no good and evil in the world. There is only the ideas of good and evil, and that is what is making the world a chaos. Humans.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that.
I was drinking coffee with sugar before. Now I drink it without sugar. Whatever reason maybe, right? At the beginning it wasn't pleasant. Now it is pleasant. See, it wasn't pleasant. Now it is pleasant.
Yeah.
If my back itches and somebody scratches my back, oh, see, itches is unpleasant. And then if somebody scratches, it's very pleasant. After 5 minutes of scratching, it becomes unpleasant. Please stop scratching because now you're making a hole on my back. Right? So there is nothing wrong. This is pleasant and this is unpleasant. That's a fact. And even desire is not a desire unless I am attached to the result of the action, right? Either to get what is pleasant or to avoid what is unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yesterday the waves were fantastic. It was quite pleasant, right? Open walls, no wind, right? It was quite pleasant. I can try tomorrow to repeat the experience. I may succeed or I may not, right? No problem. Today the wave sucks. They suck. They are completely flat and no power. There's what we call is no shoulder. See, only a takeoff, and then what is the wave? It's just mellows under your feet. That's it. It's the end of the ride. One can say, well, that's not a nice surfing day. It's really not good conditions, right? But not good and bad in a moral sense, in a judgmental sense, in a practical sense. It's just not working, I'm going home. Right? And there's a next movement, see, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on forever. At the end of the day, all that is, so to speak, within you. You are the projector, the light, the slides passing in front of the light, the screen and the images appearing on the screen. This is why they say keep quiet. Means then the past gets neutralized. Why will you work against yourself? And the activities of the body will go on smoothly. See? Without worry, is this going to be right? How this I'm going there, how it's going to be, the expectation, see? I'm going to the beach, right, driving the car, and the closer I get to the car, more stressed I become because the expectation that it's going to be wave or not, it's going to be good or not. It's, oh my God. And it can be anything, right? Going to the office, going to see the boyfriend, going to the expectation, right? So what is the foundation of the expectation? The past. How much did you say it cost a ride in Kelly Slater's surfing for $68,000 or something like that? Huh?
I think 200,000,
1 day.
if I'm not mistaken.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars you have to pay if you want to go to a wave park developed by the 11th time world champion. I can guarantee you're going to have the perfect, but it costs you. Right? So I want to make sure. See, that is what the ego does. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a fact. The ego develops a system that guarantees, right, that my memory, see, carry on having a momentum. Right? the pleasant one, or guarantees me that the other one, see, doesn't have a momentum, it comes to an end. Only pleasure, never pain. Only what is pleasant, never what is unpleasant. And you're going to pay for that. The whole infrastructure, the whole society, the whole culture is based on that principle. You want to have a nice time? Well, there is an infrastructure that guarantees you that. Go and do it all over again. And call it happiness. And then when it is closed, right, you are not happy. Then what kind of happiness is that? If it comes to an end, I don't want that happiness.
Yeah.
If it appears and disappears, I'm not interested in that. So when consciousness is free from any belief, including the belief I am the body, it reflects the happiness, the inner joy of this primordial energy, right? It doesn't experience it, it reflects it. Because that which sees is the ultimate enjoyer, right? It's the ultimate observer, absolute consciousness, call it whatever you like. So to be free from thought is not even not to think. Is that the concepts, see, are gone from the thought process. I can see, go to a coffee place and a cup of coffee is awful. And yet I'm happy. See? Are you following? Say, oh God, let's get out of here. This is terrible. And you joyfully, see, experience what is unpleasant, and if you can, you move away from there. If you cannot, then what to do? You still are happy, unpleasantly happy. I'm pleasantly happy, see? So nothing can give me happiness and nothing can take away from me happiness. Me whom anyway? This notion of being is not the ego. We may take some time to realize this fact. It's consciousness. Expressing itself, that is can express itself in any possible ways. Actually, what expresses itself in any possible way is that energy, right? Because it's partially non-differentiated or undifferentiated, right? Is your ser in a latent potential state, see, unmanifest. It's there, but it's unmanifest. And partially is manifested. See, the whole universe is condensed energy, right? So anything is possible. All possibilities are there. And consciousness is the instrument, see, through which that which sees is aware of this infinite amount of possibilities that are inseparable from itself. And the mind is a tool through by which apparently experiences its own stuff in an illusory subject-object relationship. Oh wow, that's a nice cup of coffee. It's perfect. When the ego disappears, then the subject-object, the apparent subject-object relationship carries on, right? But it is realized to be first illusory and second inseparable from the absolute. So the mind is also the absolute. What isn't the absolute? That's the last question. See? What is there that isn't? Then life is amazing. I'm telling you, it's absolutely amazing. Oh.
Dog.
Didn't like what I said. Not amazing.
It was my dog.
I know. The dog didn't like what I said.
Wasn't you?
What are you talking about? I am locked down here and I cannot do whatever I want because Claudia decides when I have to go and pee and come back and all that stuff. What shall I eat? And come on.
Yeah. It's funny.
See, you are so happy now, and the world is exactly the same, and it's getting worse second by second. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the message, Caesar.
you're welcome.
It came at the right time. Appreciated it. Yeah.
This movement has to be intelligent. See, if we want all that to get dissolved, it has to be intelligent. You will have to use the same nonsense to see. This is actually legal that you can forbid me to come to my job, or you can fire me because of I don't want to use this platform for that purpose. I have my thoughts about it, but otherwise this loses its meaning, right? Its purpose. So if you are completely free from any belief, any idea, any concept, then there is a movement within you that is intelligent, right? And it's never against you or against anybody.
Yeah.
Means there is no conflict within that thought process. There is no conflict within these words and these actions. That's the end of the whole story. That's the end of the conflict.
Yeah.
Because again, to tango, you need to How you hear tango music? There is no one happy song there. It's all drama, drama, melodrama. There's a joke in South America because tango is famous. Apparently, it's coming from Argentina. A lot of Italians and Germans, went there. We did Mamma Mia and my God, see, the tango came into existence. Between Hitler and Mussolini, tango appeared. And then apparently Chile doesn't have a good relationship with that. They don't get along. I'm just saying, I heard this. And they say Chile loves tango because in every tango, one Argentinian is either suffering or dying. Can you believe that stuff? Beautiful dance though, very elegant. So you will get used to see the bright side. You will see the dark side also, but there is still something. Even a person that is considered to be a bad person, it may have a nice haircut, and lovely trim beard and nice suit. There is something nice even in what is not.
So often when it gets really heavy, it's so heavy that I just have to laugh at the end.
Yes, it is so heavy. It is so heavy, but this is so heavy. Oh my God, this is so heavy. Oh my God. Then put it down. Why you carry the whole world in your shoulder? There is a guy surfing, and I say the guy is, oh my God, he's such a pain in the neck. He's so arrogant, and he's just selfish. Just takes all. Nice surfing though. He's a great surfer. It's a pain in the ass, but he's a great surfer. Can't take that away from him, right? And then, believe me, this people says that enlightenment developed the sixth sense, which is intuition. But there is another sense that people don't know that comes along with the loss of the ego, which is the sense of humor.
Yeah.
You should say, okay, yeah, man, you're fantastic. You're such a good server. You're so good that you don't let anybody serve you, catching all the way for yourself. That good you are. And then, see, that's a sarcastic joke, right? A joke is a joke. Dark sense of humor. Still is a sense of humor, right?
Cesar, who was your teacher? Who was
my teacher? Everything in this life in jail.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that teacher is somebody from whom you learn something, right? And along the way, I had many, in one way or another. Then you see imperfections in those teachers. You're looking for the perfect one. You are imperfect, right? Then you see imperfections everywhere. Then you're looking for the perfect one. As if the perfect one can possibly identify the perfect one. Anyway. No, you're closer on. Bueno, I can cover you. Who cares? Just later. Be normal. Okay. So I got to the point when I just wanted to die. That dramatic I got. I reached the top of the drama. I was talking to God, which is the only thing that was standing in my life. I couldn't care less about anything. I didn't believe in anything. But I believe that I didn't believe, right? Because the believer was there. I don't believe in anything. This I itself is a belief. Right? We get to that point sooner or later. And I was talking to God. I didn't know that I was talking to myself because nobody else was there listening to me but myself. Right? Then I say, God, I'm done. See, switch off the light, okay, and put me in eternal rest. And don't bring me here again. See, why you brought me here in the first place? What are you doing? What's your point? Right? Then it is said that when the seeker gets to this point, then God's appear in human form. Means, everything is God, right? Just to use this word, I don't like to use this word God because it's kind of a personal thing, right? Means when the ego is gone, then you know that God is there and everything is God, right? Appears in human form and release you from your miserable sense of me. And then, funny enough, my brother was in India, in Puttaparthi, right? My grandfather was Baba devotee. Never went to India, but he was Baba devotee. And my brother was a Baba devotee also. He was in India at that time, and my brother thought, can you bring my brother to Prashanti Nilayan? And while he's thinking, Baba looked at me and says, yes, right? So my brother sent me a letter saying, get ready because you're coming to India. And I heard that he was God in human form, Purnavatar and all that. This idea is no longer in my head. It doesn't mean that I'm against him or anything, right? It's just because he said, I am God and you too. I know it and you don't. That's the only difference than you and I am basically here to let you know this. That's all, right? It is say God is within you, around you, below you, beside you, outside you, and it is you. So search for God is stupid because what is not God and who is not God? There's nothing more ridiculous, it says, than the search for God, right? The absolute alone is, right? The self alone is, or whatever, right? So I got more dramatic and started crying. Oh my God, God heard about him, and in his compassion, he says, I'm going to see him, right? Because I thought, God is in human form, I need to talk to him, right? Because I was having a conflict with what I was doing at that time, which is shamanism and spiritism. It's supposed to be, depends upon how you look at either a curse or a blessing, right? And the beginning was a blessing and eventually became a curse, right? Psychic powers and all that stuff, and going into trance and the exhaustion of all that, and all these people wanting something. I said, actually, I just didn't want to do that anymore. And if it is a karma, right? Only the one that give it to you is the only one that wants to release this from you. So if God is there, I wanted to go to India to negotiate my karma, basically. Like, can we do something real? Right? Then, before going to India, I went to my mom's house and there was a video, a VHS at that time. There were no CDs at that time. My brother sent a VHS cassette. There was a kind of a program about Puttaparthi Baba and all that. And in that video, there were interviews with several Baba devotees. One of them was Mr. Ratanlal, which was the one that produced the biggest impact in me. Right? Then I got mixed intention of going to India. The first original intention, I don't want more experience in my body. I don't want to be a shaman. I want to be out of this, right? And what I heard from this man in this interview, that he said, the power that is allowing me to speak now is the same power that is allowing you to listen. So can you see any difference? Can you see any difference? Can you call that power Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, or whatever, right? And then he says, can you see that power? I can't. Like, can we deny the existence of that power only because we can see it? Right? Then he says, you as consciousness exist. You as an individual don't exist. And then he was saying that Baba to some people says, love all, serve all. To other people says, help ever, hurt never. See, to few, he said, to few, he introduced them in the path of self-inquiry, path of knowledge. So whatever this man was saying was just going in, see, like arrows. Until now, I haven't been able to take them out of myself. Anyway, my godfather, as we used to call the shaman teacher, was in trance. And that entity says, Cesar, prepare yourself because you're going to India to meet Sai Baba. And I say, oh, Jesus. And after some time, after a very short time, comes the letter. And I say, oh my God, this is getting real. But at that time, I thought, well, how am I going to go there? It's impossible for me. It's a very expensive ticket. I am just an employee in a factory. And I will never be able to afford a ticket. And what am I going to do with my responsibilities, my duty? It was impossible, right? But I believe I was, because the shamans never lie, but they're not supposed to lie to you. And the entities in trance, much less, right? And God cannot lie. See, yes, you will come here. And in a short period of time, see, everything began to happen that I just landed. Just to make this story short. Then I went to India and I got my first darshan, and I was in second or third road, and I experienced what is called Shaktipata, one of the forced transmission of this transmission, so to speak. Nobody can transmit to you anything, but it's a phenomenon that happens, right? An energy level, and I felt that I was electrocuted by a lovely energy. See, the body was, I can't describe it, the body was shaking, and then like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know that cartoon? Have you seen that cartoon? That the scientists became to, and then becomes a monster or something like that. And people around me were, what's wrong with this fellow? My brother also was sitting beside me, like, what is happening, right? And I felt like 2,000 kilos were released from my shoulders, right? Because that energy gets activated. Call it Kundalini, call it Shakti, call it primordial energy. It gets activated in a particular mood, see, destructive or transforming mood. And then whatever was allotted, say, by grace, most of my stuff was gone in 45 seconds. Right? And then every time he will show up, my mind will keep quiet. I wouldn't have to make any effort, any inquiry, any practice, any nothing. See, his mere presence, that will be enough for me to just be quiet. And everybody was freaking out and wanting to ask something, to say, interview, say, give me. And I was there like without thought process, what is wrong with these people? It's his God, and you have it in front of you. What else do you want? See, you have the hand that provides everything, but you want what is provided, right? To the point that he was in front of me, I had to stop being in first line. I generally will be in front, because I will be just smashed by people trying to pass letters to bless this and give me that, and then I said, I'm going to the back, because then I realized the impact is the same. Whether I'm sitting here or there, the impact is the same, and the mind will keep quiet. Then I had an interview, and he asked me, what do you want? I didn't know what I want. I knew what I don't want. And I said, I don't want more spirits in my body. I don't want to do this anymore. I said, no, what do you want? Not what you what do you want? I said, I only want you. I found myself saying that out of the blue. And I said, good, very good. That's better. That's much better. Right? And I left it like that. Just to make this story short, it's longer, but I don't want to take all the time. Are you from Spain? Hey, you asshole. Oh, nice. Good. So, yeah, let me laugh about it. Whatever is in your mind is what you see. If you see an asshole, see, you have this asshole in your head. It's not anywhere else but in your head. So this hole can see only that hole. See itself back in the mirror. So and all the crap that comes out of it. Okay. Anyway, then anyway, time passes by, and then I heard about this enlightenment, self-realization, mukti, moksha, and I say, oh, that I want that. This is a promise. If you do this, practice that, I heard that. If you perform this practice, then you get moksha. Oh, that's what I want. I want to come back here again. I want a one-way ticket, right? And then I started doing this practice, but I said, I did all this. This is not for me. So I've realized there is something that is not, this is not for me. There must be something else. And then Baba will talk to me in the India. I'll never talk to, I don't remember talking to him once, right? Maybe twice maximum. Actually, don't even remember when I talked to him first. Because I was paralyzed, right? I mean, the body was looking, moving, but inside it was paralyzed. Even when I was going through a particular hard time there, mentally, right? One thing that it came up to the surface and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have to say anything. He just stopped in front of me and said, what's the matter? I said, what do you want? I said, Padana Namaskar means I just want to put this at your feet because I can't do it myself. He says, go. And that was the end of the story. That was the end of the story. Right? Then, so he was, right? I will say my guru, right? But because of my attachment to God itself became a problem, then he sent me to one of his devotees, elder devotees, which happened to be the person that I watched in the video that produced an impact in me. We used to call him Mr. Ratanlal, right? Then the time was passing by, and then he started to ignore me, right? And I say, okay, I don't want anything. I only want you, but now you don't pay attention to me. Then you are also becoming wishy-washy, right? And then after 5 months or something, we moved from Puttaparthi to Whitefield, which is another ashram in Bangalore. And then he said, I'm leaving for 10 days. Don't follow me. There is no space for you. I'm going to be too busy. There will be no darshan, no interviews, nothing. So please stay here. I will leave the ashram open. And I said, well, if you go, I go, because this is a madhouse, right? I'm not staying here with all these fruitcakes. The only reason for me to be here is you. If you are not here, I'm out of here. I want to carry on with my pilgrimage, right? And I went for darshan, and a friend of mine, a girl from Venezuela, says, Cesar, you're serious about this stuff, and I don't want to stay here, but I don't want to travel alone. I want to carry on pilgrimage, or go on doing something, right? And I know that you are not going to be funny or anything, so shall we go together? Let's see where shall we go. I have the same feelings, so let's see where we should go. And we enter with the first intention, same intention, where we sit in first line, and then I'm just holding that in my, say, you go, I go, where? Right? If I go, where? That's all. And he looked at me, smiled, blessed, carry on walking. Ooh. I left this darshan finish, and I went out, and somebody gave me a piece of paper. Cesar from Argentina, a guy from Argentina. Cesar, some people are staying, some people are going. I'm going to somewhere, and somebody gave me this address. Maybe you may like to go there. Tiruvannamalai Ramana Maharshi Ashram. And I say, well, I'm asking for an address. This must be the answer to my question, right? Off we went to Tiruvannamalai, right? And it was fantastic because I can understand that now. I didn't want anything, right? Neither from the world nor from God. I only wanted God. But at some point, I got holidays from God also, right? So I didn't want anything, including God. See, not wanting and forgetting everything. Not wanting, not knowing. See, some sort of a state of surrender was there. And I am sleeping in the bus. And we must have been less than 3 miles from Arunachala, according to the legend, right? And then I could experience what I speak about now, the process of the transition between deep sleep and awakened state. First thing that happens is light, poof, the brightest light ever, which itself is energy, right? That contains everything within itself. Every possibility is there. Then that light reaches the brain, boom, and the notion of being, the knowledge I am comes, right? And then there is body consciousness. But the mind didn't show up. The capacity to think was there, but the identity with the body was not there. And the body was like a feather. I was hardly feeling the body. And on the way, I saw a hill. And I said to my friend, listen, this is Arunachala. He said, so how many hills we saw along the way? How can you possibly? I'm telling you, we're going there. And after 3-5 minutes, the boss said, Ramana Maharshi Ashram. And I said, I'm telling you, boom. And we just, in India, you know, you have to rush out of the bus because otherwise it will go in. Push through people to go out, throw the luggages. And I entered Ramana Ashram, same thing. I was in front of a statue of Ramana and I got shocked. And again, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Couldn't feel the body, lost body consciousness, didn't know for how long I was there. And then my friend came and had to shook me out. Said, what happened? And I said, listen, are you hungry? He said, I'm very hungry. Listen, this man is inviting us to eat in the ashram, which is, his name is, lovely man. Dr. Murthy. Normally you don't eat there or sleep there unless you have booking or stay. Whatever, we went to eat and blah, blah, blah. And for 10 days, right, I was no longer even interested in the ashram. Don't remember going to the ashram again. I was just wandering around and I was the happiest chappies in the world. It doesn't matter if I was singing bhajans or sitting in a toilet reading a magazine, right? This state of non-differentiation was there. Even if thought were going there, we're not interrupting the sense of non-differentiation. 10 days pass, and time to go back to Puttaparthi. We went back to Puttaparthi, and I felt like finally something was happening, right? Because after 6 months, mukti, moksha, this, I feel like the same asshole that came here 5 months ago. Only that it's more spiritual. Then I say thanks. They say, listen, I want to know, mentally again, I want to know more about this Ramana Maharshi stuff, right? And I was sitting in the same spot, first line, and Baba looked at me, smile, bless, carry on walking. That's and finished. I go out of the mandir and somebody gave me a book in Spanish of Ramana Maharshi, Be As You Are. And I begin to get it. So you, man, personally won't tell me anything. Directly, but indirectly, everything. You are like a wish fulfilling tree, like a Christmas, like a Santa Claus. I ask him, if I behave myself properly, I get it. I mean, if you are serious enough, right, things begin to happen. Money finished, visa finished, tried to go back to Venezuela. And when I'm reading this book, The book didn't tell me anything. It was just telling me what was already happening. But on the plane, then I began to have the loss of body identity, right? I was going in the plane, and then I was holding my cup, and whoa, right? Again, this cup is not I, this hand is not I. Right? But this is at the level of consciousness, okay? Not at the level of the ultimate observer, right? So these samadhis begin to happen spontaneously, non-differentiation, this eyes open, saha samadhi. But your country will remind you, your family, your job, your duties, and all that will come back. And I said, no. I want that to come to an end, and I want this to come to an end forever. And the second trip to India happened. I get to India, and so now we have two teachers, right? We have Baba, we have Arunachala, Ramana Maharshi, right? And then the last one appeared. And in Darshan, I got it. See, you will not, I'm just, okay. I want this, and I want this permanently, but apparently I need somebody to whom can I talk? To whom can I talk about this? Who can help me, right? Look at me again, smile, bless, carry on walking. I left the mandir, and I reclined on a wall to let the people go out through the gate, and then I felt somebody was holding my arm. And when I looked with this dwarf-looking man, I'll show you the picture. Dwarf-looking man looking at me, smiling, and he looks down like he's thinking about something, and look at me like really, right? And then he let go of my arm and goes on walking. And this man is going in this direction, and my friend to whom I went to Tiruvannamalai was coming and said, Cesar, listen, I am more bhakti, I will stick to it, and you are more jnana, whatever. And then there is somebody here, devotee of Baba, that speak about self-inquiry, jnana yoga, and all that stuff, translated in Spanish. My English was terrible at that time. It's not that it is great now, but a bit better. Then 10 o'clock in the morning, Ganesha Garden, I said, oh, fantastic. Right? I went to have my breakfast and went for the bhajan session at 9, and at 10 o'clock I was in the garden, and there was a small group of Spanish people, and I said, this is the place where the talk is going to happen. I said, yes, we are waiting for Mr. Ratanlal. I said, good. And to my surprise, the person that was going to talk was the same person that was holding my arm. And I said, this is fantastic. Then he sat quietly, looked everybody. And I said, does anybody have any question? And then everybody was politely quiet, spiritually quiet. No, we are so enlightened, we are so mentally quiet. And I was like a Formula One car at in the start line of the race. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I want this. I want my way out again. And I told him my experience in Ramana, all that stuff. And he said, good, good, very good, very good. And then he said to me, where were you born? See, where were you before you were born? See, where are you going to be after you die? Where were your parents before they met? See, before they got married? Ask this question to yourself, who am I? Shift attention from the seen to the seer. The seen will disappear, the seer will disappear, and what remains is the act of seeing, experience as simply being. Poof, that struck me like a sack of brick in my head. And I didn't do it straight away out of politeness because I didn't know that I could do inquiry right there. Right? Then I stayed just there waiting for the talk and to finish, and then finish, and I approached to him and said, thanks. And he looked at me and said, you're very rare. I didn't understand what he meant, you're very rare. And then he walked away. And in the afternoon, I was too tired, sleepy, went to have something to eat, went for a rest, and I sit down again in the mandir, and Baba came out and sat on a chair, which was very rare. And I am at the back doing the inquiry, and I say, okay, I was told to bring the attention from the seen to the seer, and I say, you also are the seen, so I'm sorry, right? And from there, he's looking at me and smiling, like, you can see there is some kind of a reflection there that you're doing it in the right way and it is okay. And it was like, okay, go. I said, okay. It took me like a few minutes to understand what I was told. It happened before. I didn't know that I was learning how to enter into that non-differentiated state consciously by the means of inquiry. I said, okay, the scene. And I realized, my God, this is the scene. God is the scene. What kind of God is that depends upon me, who is the seer, right? And then the scene, the seer. Who is the seer? I. Okay. Who is this I? And then the attention went from the scene, the object, to the scene, the seer, the subject. So there were no thought about him, this or that. And the thought I collapsed. And something different happened. See, this one open up, reveal itself. And then it was obvious that I am that which is. Beyond even the experience of simply being the act of seeing, which is consciousness. Right? And it was obvious. That's it. I said, that's it. I am that. It became so ridiculous, so absurd, because it was so obvious, right? I said, my God, so much struggle, so much suffering, so much. All that was happening in my head, like in a flash, without any intellectual process. My God. And I was looking around, my God, what are they doing? And I began to laugh hysterically. It was ecstasy. This ecstasy melts away, but it's okay. And my body became like jelly, like boneless. I couldn't keep it together. I was on the floor, this is ridiculous. People begin to feel annoyed. The several adults begin to look at me like, what's wrong with you? And I say, I'm taking my music out of here. And I left the meditation place the best I could to walk. Oh my God, this is ridiculous, right? And when I left, and as soon as I go out, Mr. Radhanath was seated there in a building on the staircase, and he was looking at me and like teasing me like in a very naughty way, say, why are you so happy? Well, that makes it worse. So you're there's no why. Do I need a reason? Quack. And then he stand up, right? I said, what were you doing? And I said, I was doing nothing. I was just seated there with myself, being myself. And then he started laughing even worse than me. And and then he held my hand and we were swinging hands, like two idiots, swinging hands, like two kids laughing for no rhyme or reason. The people were looking at what is wrong with these two, right? And I say, he looked at me and said, do you see that we are honest enough, suficiente enough. In a split second, we can have a glimpse, see, of one's reality. And I said, good, very good. I said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the canteen to have my breakfast. I said, what do you have for breakfast? I said, porridge with a cup of coffee. I'm thinking, I'm functioning, everything is okay, right? My capacity to think, to function was perfectly all right, but me, at least at that moment, there was nowhere to be seen, right? I said, good, see you in satsang. And then I went there and he looked at me and says, and this is how all these questions started, right? And he said, look at me and says, if he can realize the self, why couldn't you, right? And then he starts somehow pricing me, like, because of my one-pointedness, my commitment, my all that stuff, because there was nothing that he knew exactly why, even better than me, right? And then people start looking at me, and that was the beginning. Cesar, can I ask you a small question? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Right? So I was trying to run away from people, and look at me. And then he said to me, once we have a glimpse, it may take a while to settle down in one's natural state, which means that this knowledge, this conviction becomes unshakable. The ego may jump and bump now and then. He says, fine, you won't be bothered by that, you won't be affected. So, So my teachers, in this sense, I have to admit, I have to say, right? Baba, Ramana, and this is me before going to that trip, by the way. There is Your Holiness with the beard. Like, if you go, I go. Where shall I go? That was me. Let me see if I have a photo. I must have it. I'm sure I have it. So, yeah. Oh, that's him.
Okay.
It was 90 something already there.
Wow.
Last year. Can you come, please? Let's see if we can do this quickly. Just 2 comments. I don't know if there are comments or question in Russia, because I need to drive Nasia back to the office.
What do you know about Sigun?
What do I know about Sigun? I have no clue.
Понятия не имею про цигун.
I know it's an energy thing.
Я знаю, что там какая-то энергетическая штука.
But I don't know anything about that. Don't know the technique. I don't know
Я не
anything,
знаю,
to be
что
honest
там за
with you.
техника. Я вообще ничего не знаю, если честно.
All what I knew is gone.
Все, что я знал, все уж исчезло.
And what I'm talking about, I don't know.
То, о чем я говорю, я не знаю это.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Понятия не имею, что я говорю.
I know it at the same time you know it when it comes out.
Я узнаю то, что я говорю, тогда, когда и вы узнаете об этом, то есть когда оно выходит уже из моего рта.
And I don't know means it's not coming from memory.
Когда я говорю, что я не знаю, я имею в виду, что я не по памяти что-то рассказываю.
I mean the knowledge, not the story. The story is memory.
Ну, то есть когда я говорю о знании, а не об историях каких, потому что понятно, что история — это воспоминания.
I'm talking about it while I am experiencing it, because
Я говорю об этом, пока я проживаю это, когда я проживаю это.
when I speak about this energy is there because I know it's there. That which is there because I know it's there.
Когда я говорю, что эта энергия есть, или что то, что есть, потому что я знаю, что оно есть.
How am I going to speak about this? I never know.
Как я буду говорить это все, я никогда не знаю.
It may come out slightly different all the time.
Время от времени немножко по-разному формулируется.
See, life is the book,
Жизнь — это книга.
and the teacher is your own self.
Учитель — это ваше «я».
This is what Baba used to say.
Баба говорил так.
Life is the book,
Жизнь — это книга.
and the guru is your own heart,
Гуру — это ваше сердце.
it's your own self.
Ваше «я».
You don't need any other book,
Другие книги не нужны.
and you don't need any other guru.
Другой гуру не нужен.
And eventually you realize that you are the book, the guru, the teacher, the student, the knowledge, everything is yours.
В конце вы осознаете, что вы — это книга, учитель, ученик, знание.
I know. So, see you tomorrow.
До завтра.
If you still are there, if not,
Если вы все еще тут.
good.
Если нет вас, то хорошо.
Or tonight, if you don't mind the Spanish.
Или до вечера, если вы не против испанского.
Huh? Ah, yes.